Galloping around the cosmos is a game for the young, Doctor.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if this is the first time you've found the channel. I'm in the middle of a library tour, so I'm going through all of my books, well, there are a few exceptions, but pretty much all of my books. And in this particular video, this is like a follow-up to the previous video where this is a focus on science fiction, because even though there's science fiction all over my collection, this is from boxes that are just science fiction that's on the side of my bed by the side of this bookcase. So I'm just looking down here, there is some fancy creeping in as well, but that's because of the nature of the author. So yeah, science fiction pretty much. So let's go through these then. So please comment below if you know these books. Some of these books I haven't read, or a lot of these books in particular actually I haven't read. So please advise me if you think you got to read that one first because it's amazing, and let me know if you like these particular authors. So I do like Joe Haldeman, and this is a book called Mind Bridge. So I've read about 4 of his books, but I haven't read that one yet. Mind Bridge. Harry Harrison, I've read tons of his stuff. Really important author for me, and this is The War with the Robots. And this is Time Untamed. And this is a little bit knackered, but I couldn't resist it because it's got Asimov, Robert Bloch, Ray Bradbury, Clifford Simak, John Wyndham, Theodore Sturgeon, L. Sprague de Camp, and Fritz Leiber, all in the same book. So, yeah, also I think there's a theme around time as well, so another thing I couldn't resist. So, yeah, it's a little bit knackered, but there we go. It's just one of those things. They're not always perfect. Clifford Simak, Worlds Without End, another great cover, and it's a really nice find. So that's Clifford Simak. Robert Silverberg, The Masks of Time. Look at that awesome painting as a cover. I need to look into who did this, because there's a few consistent covers like this, and I need to look into the illustrator. But yeah, The Masks of Time, again, more books on time. Christopher Priest, The Inverted World. So this was a nice find, because I've got Christopher Priest on my radar, but this was really cheap, so that was good. Alan Dean Foster, the first Alan Dean Foster. I got tons of Alan Dean Foster in this box, and this is Midworld. So this was this has become quite known as far as Alan Dean Foster's non-novelization stuff. So yeah, an important book, that one. Philip Jose Farmer, the crazy, trippy Philip Jose Farmer, and the book called Dare. Look at that, what a strange cover. So there we go, Dare. This is an anthology which is really good actually, called Beyond Tomorrow. Again, I love that cover. There's something awesome about that cover, Beyond Tomorrow, and I remember liking that one. James Blish, Midsummer Century. James Blish is a very important author, and some of his claim to fame comes from the work he did with Star Trek as well. Okay, Andy Foster again, Lost and Found. So I know that there's a big feature of a dog in this book, from what I remember. But Lost and Found, Andy Foster. I found some really cool Andy Foster ones when I was looking there was a second-hand shop that had a new collection that they bought. There was loads of Andy Foster. James Blish, The Star Dwellers, awesome cover again. This is a little bit knackered. It's got a massive rip along the middle, but Dying Inside is one of the most important Robert Silverberg books, so I had to get it, even though again it's a little bit knackered. Dying Inside, Robert Silverberg, really important book. Ah, this should be in a different box, because this should be my Robert Sheckley box. So The Alchemical Marriage of Alistair Compton, really good condition actually, because the version that I read is in a terrible state. So this is nice that it's in a really good state, which is clearly why I bought it. But I love this book. I think it's very funny and really very typical of Robert Sheckley. So that's all good. This is the second volume of Spellsinger by Dean Foster. So I've got, I think, about 5 of the Spellsinger books. I think you're going to see some of those crop up in a minute, I think. So this is volume 2, The Hour of the Gate. You've got Joe Haldeman. This is part of a trilogy, and this is Worlds, Enough, and Time. And I think this was the last one, but I'm not absolutely sure because I haven't read that trilogy yet. But again, I really like Joe Haldeman, so I'm sure I'd like it. Simac City. So not my favourite cover for City. I like the one with the robot and a dog on it, but I haven't got that copy anymore, so I don't know why. But I've still got the actual book, so if I want to reread that again, I can, because it's a really good book, City. So there we go. Rebel in Time by Harry Harrison. More time travel. This is one I will read before I make that conclusion about which ones are my favourite time travel books. He's done time a few times. He's done time a few times. Clifford Simac. Why Call Them Back from Heaven? Very surreal painting as the cover there. So there we go. Yeah, oh, this is volume 6 of Spellsinger, The Time of the Transference. The Time of the Transference by Annalene Foster. This is weird. This has got like some sort of the sort of thing you find in libraries, but it's not a library copy. So I don't know what that's about. But yeah, got a plastic book cover. This is another copy of Graveyard for Lunatics. So I'm not really sure I need 2, but there we are. I have 2. Joe Haldeman's book Worlds. So this, I think, is the first one in that trilogy that I was talking about. And Who Needs Friends? Sorry, Who Needs Enemies? Who Needs Enemies by Annalene Foster. There is a book that I might come across in a minute called With Friends Like These. So this is a short story collection by Annalene Foster. Who Needs Enemies? This is Space Viking by H. Beam Piper. So I'm going to end up being someone who's read lots of H. Beam Piper. I just sort of found them randomly recently, which is quite cool. Science Fiction Hall of Fame, The Novellas, Book 2, edited by Ben Bover. And it's got Heinlein, Harry Kuttner, Cordwainer Smith, and Jack Williamson. So there's that one. So that's like a classic kind of anthology you often get in science fiction. Of All Possible Worlds by William Tenn. I've read one book by William Tenn, wasn't a massive fan, so I was going to give him another go. It's an awesome cover, isn't it? But yeah, I'm not sure what I'll think, but I was intrigued by the premise, and I was going to give the author another go. I can't remember what the book was I didn't like. It was something to do with, I think William Tenn had written a book about some sort of ancient version of man, but I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. There's the first of Spider Robinson's Callahan's Cross Time Saloon. I quite liked it, but I was expecting more. So, yeah, I thought I was going to absolutely love it, and it was just okay. I like the idea of it. It is literally a bar where lots of people from different planets meet up and tell their stories, which is a great idea. Okay. What's this? We got Philip K. Dick, We Can Build You, which is an amazing Lincoln cover there. And they literally do rebuild Lincoln in the future because they think they need him. It's ridiculous, but amazing. This is another Annalene Foster. This is Sentenced to Prism. Can't beat a good pun. Sentenced to Prism. Joe Haldeman again, Dealing in Futures. So this is a this is a short story collection. So Joe Haldeman's really good. The Future Makers, edited with a foreword by Peter Haining. So it includes Brian Aldiss, Asimov, Heinlein, and Arthur C. Clarke. So some of the biggest names there featuring in the anthology. Is there anyone there? Oh, and Robert Sheckley's not mentioned on the on the cover, but he's in the book. So there we go. That's the one person that would have made me want to buy it. It's probably one of the reason why I got it is because Robert Sheckley's in there. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Harry Harrison, Will World. So I read, what was it called? I read Homeworld was the first book. I read that a little while ago, and I've got this as well, but I haven't got the third one, which might be Star World. I'm not sure. This is volume 3 of The Spell Singer by Andy Foster, The Day of the Dissonance. Again, it's another one with plastic sleeve. So Day of the Dissonance, volume 3 of Spell Singer. Oh, there's tons of Simak now. So we've got Cat Face. Again, really awesome cover. There was a second-hand shop that's selling loads of Simak. I just picked them all up. The Best of Simak short story collection. A Choice of Gods by Simak. Great cover again. The Goblin Reservation. This has got an awesome cover. The Goblin Reservation by Simak. Look at that. That appeals to my cartoonist taste and my cartoonist brain. And Project Pope by Clifford Simak. See, these are such awesome covers, aren't they? Project Pope, and then any more? No, but this, I remember drawing this cover when I was a kid. Invasion Earth. This cover really hit me for some reason. It really I just loved it. So, Harry Harrison, Invasion Earth. The People That Time Forgot by Edgar Rice Burroughs. A little bit of a Lost World kind of idea on that one. The Frozen Planet and 4 other science fiction novellas by Keith Laumer, F.L. Wallace, Alan Kim Lang, Daniel Keyes, and Clifford Simak. It's the story called The Quality of Mercy by Daniel Keyes, which is the reason why I bought this. So I was very excited to see that because I want to read more by Daniel Keyes. This should be in the Robert Sheckley box. Hunter Victim by Robert Sheckley. I've got loads of these. But there we are. Can't help it. I can't help it. More Simak. So this is Special Deliverance by Clifford Simak. Oh, what an amazing cover. Adam Link Robot. So this is linked to, this is actually by, I can't read that properly. No, I really genuinely can't read that very well, the author's name. But it is linked to the I, Robot books by Asimov, this book. But it's not actually by Asimov, obviously. This is a H.G. Wells book called The World Set Free. Really bad condition, but I hadn't seen the book before, so I had to grab it. I will get something if I've never seen it before, even if I'd rather it was in better condition. Silver Locusts by Ray Bradbury. Again, that's going to be part of my deep dive. And The Golden Apples of the Sun. Love that book. The Golden Apples of the Sun, which obviously features Sound of Thunder. So that will feature in my deep dive. Oh, here we go. Here's a bunch of Ray Bradbury coming. So you've got The Golden Apples of the Sun. You've got Silver Locusts again, but with the design that I used to have it in when I was a kid. And I don't know if this is the same copy or if I managed to get it again with this design. I genuinely can't remember if I've rebought it. But when I originally read it, it looked like this. So The Silver Locusts by Ray Bradbury. The Day It Rained Forever by Ray Bradbury. From the Dust Returns. This is one of the newer ones by Ray Bradbury. Summer Morning, Summer Night, another one of the more recent ones. Small Assassin, which is one of his best short stories. I love it. And this is when they decided to make an anthology or a collection called Small Assassin. Corrected myself. S is for Space, another iconic Ray Bradbury collection. Robert Silverberg, The Silent Invaders. Look at that cover. The Silent Invaders. Another Simac one. This is Waystation, so clearly if you're going to have a bunch of Simac books, you need to have City and Waystation, don't you? So that's Waystation. Another CJ Cherry one, Hunter of Worlds. This, I almost read this a little while ago, but I didn't get to it in the end. But I was that close. Oh, a bunch of other ones here. Let's just get through these. So you've got Tool of the Trade, another Joe Haldeman one. That looks really good. So again, I should probably put my glasses on. Oh, here we go. Nick Foley is on the run. The KGB and the CIA are both after him. Not surprising, since he's a Soviet sleeper whose cover has been blown. But Nick has more than state secrets to hide. If he tells a stranger to drive him 1,000 miles, it'll happen. If he tells a pusher to OD on his own heroin, the pusher will do it. Nick's strange power is vital to both sides, and neither of them intend to let him keep it to himself. There we go. So a classic kind of thriller sort of idea. Green Thieves. A bit of wordplay again from Alan Dean Foster. Green Thieves. So obviously I'm thinking of Green Sleeves. I'm sure he was as well. Bradley Denton's Buddy Holly is alive and well in Ganymede. So the amount of times I found a book and thought, why haven't I read that yet? I was so excited when I bought it. But there we are. I do want to read this. I think I'm going to really like it. There's that one. Another Ray Bradbury, Quicker Than the Eye, which I think that's the second copy I've seen of that. So here we are. Dandelion Wine. So I think Cliff said that he really liked this one. Cliff's Dark Gems. So if you're watching, Cliff, hi mate. James Blish, Cities in Flight. So this is a very well-renowned book and a very important book, and quite a significant part of James Blish's reputation. So Cities in Flight. Winter in Eden, Harry Harrison. So this is the third Eden book, I think, from Harry Harrison. I think. Threads of Time. So this is a Robert Silverberg anthology that's really good, actually. And something I read it about a year ago. And it's got, who's it got in it? Gregory Benford, Clifford Simac, and Norman Spinrad. Norman Spinrad's an interesting author. The Man in the High Castle, Philip K. Dick, Alternative History, and one of his most popular books, I'd say. Another cover that I always remember from my childhood. I read a lot of Harry Harrison when I was a teenager. Planet of No Return. I love that cover. It's just awesome. So Harry Harrison, Planet of No Return. Right, last batch. Yeah, this is the last batch of these boxes. So Alfred Bester, Extro. So like I said, you generally only see those two mega famous ones, The Demolished Man and The Stars of My Destination. But I've got another Bester one here. So Extro. There it is. With Friends Like These, Alan Dean Foster. And look at that awesome cover. With Friends Like These by Alan Dean Foster. Short story collection. A very smart copy of The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Or The Silver Locust. Fahrenheit 451. Look at that. Absolute iconic book. Really important book. Fahrenheit 451. Zen and the Art of Writing by Ray Bradbury. So it's another copy of one that I showed earlier. Spellsinger, the first one. There you go. The first one of Spellsinger, Alan Dean Foster. And this is another one. Look. This is volume 4. So I think I might be missing volume 5 out of this lot. But I've got, looks like I've got the first 6 except number 5 of the Spellsinger books. So that's, what's that? The Moment of the Magician. But I haven't read the Spellsinger books. So I read a lot of Alan Dean Foster when I was a kid, but I haven't read the Spellsinger books. And then just to finish off, not quite science fiction, but a book that again was really, really important to me when I was a kid. Thieves' World, a collection of stories edited by Robert Aspirin. And this really fired up my imagination when I was a kid. So there we are. And I've now got 2 copies of this, actually, because I've got 2 different covers. So yeah, I do treasure this. This was the edition that I had when I was a kid, though. So there we are. So that's the boxes of science fiction I had by my bed, by this bookcase. There is still the bedside table stuff that I haven't gone through yet. And there's the immediate TBR-ish books I've got downstairs as well. But other than that, I've almost shown you everything I've got. Pretty much, almost, sort of, almost, kind of, almost. Thanks for watching. Please comment below if you've found any of those books particularly interesting, or you like some of those authors. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Paint me a picture